Welcome to P2F Fighting. I'm Poindexter. Let's get into this. So a question has been asked, are street fights legal? So I want to say no initially, but what I'm going to do first is pull up some law and read it to you because I want to be as clear and fair about this as possible for anyone who might be watching and doesn't really know anything about street fighting. I don't want there to be any mistakes. Okay, now obviously this is a YouTube video going out to many people all over the world. So what I'm about to read you is law, general law. Some states use certain laws, some states do not, and other countries have other laws. I'm just reading you what I'm seeing here online and what I have written down from what I have asked lawyers. Okay, so still check with your state to make sure your state agrees with these laws. So let me read past you a little bit. What we have first is mutual combat. So mutual combat is an affirmative defense to assault and battery charges. Some jurisdictions even allow police officers to refer to a fight as if both parties consent. So basically, mutual combat. So if two guys want to fight and they both agree, come on, all right, you want to do this? Yeah, let's go. And they start swinging. As long as nobody else gets hurt, they can fight, bust each other up a little bit. Then they're done. And then they part ways and they don't hurt anyone else in the process. A lot of times in that situation, whoever responds to that call could say, well, it was mutual combat, and just let it go. I do armed security on the side of the other things I do, and I've had people get in fights, and we'll arrive on the scene, and we're supposed to be breaking up the fight or cuffing both people, calling the law. But when we get there, sometimes, I'll talk to the guy. Oh, yeah, he pissed me off. We swung it out. I'm good. We'll go to him. How do you feel? Oh, we swung it out. I'm good. You want to press charges? Nope. Nope. Okay. It was mutual combat. They both agreed they wanted to fight it out. They fought it out. No one around them got hurt. And they're good with it. They went different ways. And even if they're in the same building, they don't cross each other. Everything is fine, and they let it go. In that case, it's all right. But that's after the fact. Now, if there is a fight and one person absolutely gets destroyed, gets stomped out, nose broke, orbitals, teeth just stomped out, broken jaw, it may not matter in that case. See, it's going to be up to the determination of the officer who is responding to that call. They may see one guy, walking around celebrating, and another guy absolutely destroyed, out cold with broken bones everywhere. It's going to be assault. It's going to be battery. Because at some point, mutual combat, they let go when both guys kind of swing it out. They both might catch a busted face or something, but they're both good. But when one guy has massively wrecked another guy or a woman, then it's usually going to be more than that. And like I said, in them cases, that's going to really be up to the officer that's responding. So I can't say yes and I can't say no. Now we have other laws. Stand your ground. Stand your ground law provides that people may use deadly force when they reasonably believe it is necessary to defend against deadly force, grave bodily harm, kidnapping, rape, robbery in some jurisdictions, or some serious crimes. Under such law, people have no duty to retreat before using deadly force in self-defense so long as they are in a place where they are lawfully present. Stand your ground laws cannot be invoked by someone who was the initial aggressor or otherwise doing something illegal. So stand your ground laws. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I also am going to be doing a playlist on firearms. I'm a gun owner. I carry a gun. I told you I do security sometimes. I do armed security, so I have a exposed firearm permit, and I love guns. I'm very pro gun. So I will be doing a playlist on guns, and this is going to be part of it. Stand your ground laws usually come into play when someone gets shot because it's the use of deadly force. skirting the duty to retreat law, which is meaning you have to retreat if there's any possible way that you can avoid using deadly force. That's the counter to this one. Some states have stand your ground laws where you can shoot, and that's what it is. And I'm cool with that. But I'm bringing this up because my self-defense channel, this is a self-defense channel. But on top of all the hand techniques, I am going to do firearms and other deadly weapons. Also, we have the castle doctrine. Castle doctrine, or a defense of habitation law. Legal doctrine that designates a person's abode or a legally occupied space as a place in which that person has protections and immunities permitting one, in certain circumstances, to use force up to and not including deadly force to defend oneself against an intruder free from legal prosecution for the consequences of force used. So castle doctrine, deadly force may be either justified, the burdens of production or proof of charges impeded, or an affirmative defense against criminal homicide applicable in cases when the actor reasonably fears imminent peril of death or serious bodily harm to him or herself or another. So castle doctrine basically means you can defend your house, and you can do what it takes to defend your house. Again, this is going to apply more to people who carry guns, because if you break in my house, it's going to be a problem. And so for most people, most gun owners, the reason why you have a gun is to defend your home and your family. So this will go along with the stand your ground law as far as the use of deadly force. Now, every state doesn't use castle doctrine, and every state doesn't use stand your ground laws, and every state doesn't use mutual combat either, or mutual consent. So it's up to you to find out what it is that your state uses, or your area uses, or your country uses. Because I'm seeing here other countries, and I'm seeing outside the United States, Australia, Brazil, Canada, England and Wales, Germany, Ireland, Israel, Italy, and Sweden. So these countries must also have a castle doctrine or a version of the castle doctrine. So it's up to you to figure out what your country uses as far as it goes. But the question was, are street fights legal? You got to know. You got to find out from here. You do have some defenses. Mutual consent, stand your ground, castle doctrine. You have some defense if you get into a fight in the street, or you get into a fight in your house, which I still consider a street fight because it's not in the ring. Anything that's not sanctioned by a governing body, where you're in a ring, on a mat, in a dojo or something, where it's happening in the street, in your house, or in a building, place of work, I'm going to consider that a street fight. Because if somebody breaks in your house to rob you and you get in a fight, it's still a street fight. So all of this is considered to be a street fight. It's up to you to kind of find out which state does what as far as these go. If you leave me a comment below, I'll look it up for you. But for the most part, it's up to you to figure this out. But there are some defenses that would make a fight legal. There are. It's not just a definitive no or definitive yes. But you're going to have proof, especially if you use deadly force. You better hope you have cameras in the corners filming, or some way to prove that what you had to do was the only option you had. Anyway, that's my answer. Like and subscribe. Holla at your boy.